Hey everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. Today we are going to do April currently inked fountain pens. I'm really excited about this month because I think I've contained myself just to these 7. I do have one pen on the side that is still inked up out of last month, and this one I'm not so worried about. It's a Twisbee, and it's, it's okay. It's a plastic, not very expensive fountain pen, and that is it. Everything else has been cleaned out except for my traveler's notebook fountain pen, which I still have yet to find. But anyway, we're talking about April. I want to get started. I've prepared myself and I've done a little bit different preparation this time around. I actually already inked up my little circles here with the inks I plan to use this month. I don't really have a specific type of way of ink or choosing inks for this month. I really wanted to just use my newest inks, and for the most part it is very Ferris wheel press heavy. I did get some new inks, and you may have seen that in my latest video that I made yesterday and released yesterday. So they are here. And then just some other inks that I haven't really used very often, and I wanted to see how those would look as well. So let's get started. We're going to start with the very first one. My hands are a little bit have some lotion on it, so I don't want to mess up my paper, so I'm just going to put this down here. Now, when I did do these ink swatches, I actually use my glass dip pen, which is the one I got from Amazon, and it has a cap on it, which is really nice. Keeps the tip from breaking for the most part, which was my issue with my last glass dip pen. And then I use a water brush, which is this one that I got this from the Daiso store. So it was only like $1, and I used this on the edges so you could really see some of the cool effects on these inks. And let's get started with the first one. My first pen is this beautiful Aboalone fountain pen. It has some really pretty color shading going from blue, white to this pretty purpley pink. And it's very comfortable. It's a little bit more of a girthier fountain pen. It doesn't post, and it has a basic Yovo nib, which means I can switch out the nib to other nibs if I want to. And so this one is actually from On a Whim, Woodworks, and it's very comfortable. It's one of those pens that when you haven't written it with it for a while and then you write with it, it just feels like you're in the right place at the right time kind of thing. Just so comfortable. And I'm using a fine nib, and this is the nib that came with the pen. And this ink is called Ferris Wheel Press. And I'm just going to initial the title, Edward's Garden, or Gardens. And let's see how juicy it is. It's pretty wet. And this was one of my newer inks that I purchased from Nico Neko. It does have some green like sheen, which I'm not sure is really showing properly on the paper. I you need to really get it to shake up to really see that. I don't really see it that much in the ink on my side in this pen, just because it's a fine. But if I were to buy the bottle, then I'm sure I will definitely be able to see the green sheen and glitter. Okay, so moving on to the next ink, we have this purpley-ish ink, but it's interesting. So I put this into my Scribo Piuma, and I haven't written with this pen in a while. So let's see. One of the issues I had when I first wrote with this pen is that it required a really low angle to get it to write comfortably. So this is the Piuma, but it's okay because it's kind of nice to be able to adjust your writing, at least for me, because I'm always adjusting anyway. So that doesn't bother me. And I also think maybe I just wasn't used to the fact that it was an extra fine and required a low writing angle. So as I write a little bit lower to the paper, the pen is definitely more smoother. And this ink is Ferris Wheel Press Beaver Dam Brown. And so it's kind of funny how it's a brown, but it looks purple to me. Oh, and let's do, it actually is pretty wet for an extra fine as well. So, and that's because of the ebonite feed it has. And I'm getting used to the way it writes. It does require a little bit of an adjustment on my end. Okay, so next is another interesting ink. I decided to put it in this lovely bright pen, and this is called, this is from Tailored Pen Company. They were selling them online after one of their pen shows, and I decided to jump on it. So I call it the Pink Honeycomb, and it also has a really smooth nib. And this is also a Yovo. So I can switch it out with something else if I want to. I'm writing with a fine nib. Very comfortable. And the ink is also Ferris Wheel Press. And this one's really interesting. It's called Land of Shangri-La. And I don't know if you could tell from the swatch, but it's brown and it has some like green in it. Again, this was like a sample, and I really like this color. I think I might go back and get the actual full bottle. It's very interesting. Okay, so moving forward, we have a new to me pen, which is the Sailor Prophet Jr. And I got this from Nico Neko, and it was in my last Nico Neko haul. I was actually really shocked at how well it wrote for being a really, a pretty inexpensive Sailor fountain pen. This is a medium fine. which is the only size that these pens on that website came in. So you didn't have the opportunity to pick the size of the pen. And I'm not sure if that just goes in general with the Sailor Prophet Juniors overall. And then this ink is the ink that it came with because it was a set. And it is the Sailor Ink Studio 223. So to me, I don't have this ink, and so I wasn't expecting it to appear like that. And when I tested it initially, it looked gray, but it's like a purpley green gray, I guess. In this medium fine, it comes out gray, but in the swatch, it comes out purple, and then with some water, has some green. So it's a very beautiful, interesting ink. Next is the beautiful Schon Design Monarch fountain pen. I think Schon, I spelled it wrong, Schon Design. And I think they say that this is like a medium broad. So it's a little bit chunky writing, but oh my gosh, you guys, this is so smooth. And I think it can handle someone who is very heavy-handed, even in reverse. And this ink is Colorverse. Vortex Motion. Look how well it writes, even upside down. And I'm using the converter in here, and I don't have it eyedroppered, obviously, because of this metal pen. But you can eyedropper it, and I heard that when you do eyedropper it in the right pen body, it will be a lot juicier than even this. But this is quite juicy fountain pen. It writes superb. I think this pen is really good for someone who may kind of shift their writing as their like turn as they write, because as I write, I was testing it since it writes so smooth in both directions. Even at a weird angle, it also writes really well. So a really fun nib. Another reason why I'm really excited for this month's lineup. So next we have the purple, and it looks more purple than some of the other purples. And I decided to use my Esterbrook Estie, and this is the one that is the Botanical Gardens. And this is the new release from Esterbrook. And I think I just have, yeah, I got it in a fine. And then this ink is the Harry Potter Monte Grappa Night Bus Purple. It's a bright purple to me. So any purple fans, this is definitely an ink that's really pretty. And if you can get your hands on it, if they're still selling it, I got this one from Pen Chalet, and I do have a link for you to use from Pen Chalet. If you want, definitely snag one of these. So next and last color is the, it's in my Twisbee, and I chose this because I really enjoyed my Twisbee last month, and so I wanted to try another Twisbee, and so I decided to use this one. Now, I don't know about you guys, but inking up this Twisbee in a Ferris wheel press bottle was a challenge, especially if the bottle is brand new. So this is the Twisbee VAC 700R Iris. And I have an extra fine. And then the ink is Ferris wheel press. Stroke of Midnight. There is some glitter in this ink, and it's very wet, especially for an extra fine. It's a Western extra fine, so it's kind of in line with the fines of my Yovos. And this is what the bottle looks like. Stroke of Midnight, and it has like some glitter properties in there as well. So one more thing I forgot to do is to test how wet this nib is. So let's do that here. It's a little dry. So I find that it dries pretty quickly in my on my Tomoe River fountain pen paper. And I did forget to show you the bottles for my Monte Grappa. It comes like this. A nice rectangular bottle, and it has the Harry Potter logo on the top. And then the Colorverse, I decided this was a 2-pack, so it came in the large and the little small bottle, but I inked it from the large bottle, so it's very dark purpley ink. Although when you do add some water, it has some really nice shading, and it looks like there's a little bit of green in it too. And then my Sailor Prophet Jr. in the Sailor Ink Studio, because this was a group deal, it came in a package. This is only a 10 ml bottle, so it's quite tiny. Not too far off from my ink samples of the 5 mls that I got from Nico Neko. And then the last, or the top 3 were from Nico Neko, just samples, trying to slim it down and not splurge too much with ink bottles, because I have so many. I need to really use the ones or just get more samples, so I don't feel like I'm buying ink that I won't use. So this is what I have for this month. I'm really excited to use it, and I also purchased, this is just a side note, the spring release of the Hobonichi A6. I haven't started it yet. It's only April 2nd, so I'm not like too far behind, but I'm still kind of stuck on how to use it. I want to use it for ink, but I also want to use it for drawing. And it doesn't seem like those two are too far off from each other that I could do both together. But I'm still deciding. I really want to use this. I miss my Hobonichi products, and it's starting to show since I purchased one within like a couple months into 2023. So if you guys have any suggestions how I should use it, I don't want to use it as a planner because I already have my planners. I don't want to use it for like scrapbooking because I want to do more journaling, although I have journals. So I'm struggling. How should I use this notebook? I am interested to hear your thoughts and read your thoughts. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I will give you links to some discounted websites I have information on. And I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.